qualification called Chartered Institute, managed by the Chartered Institute of Management Accounts, is called CIMA. This trains those management accountants or people who want to be doing management or data that can easily be relied upon by management of organizations to make decisions, key decisions. So this is also a very good qualification. I have a couple of friends of mine who have done this particular qualification. We're still together, Livingstone.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
You know, sometimes you can talk so much and feel like I am talking.
Actually, they are listening very well.
Okay, yes. I can see some on video and I can. So let me go to technology and accounting. Technology, the accountant of today and the future is not likely to be the accountant of bean counting. When we talk about bean counting, we talk about those people during the origin of accounting, the people who used to count assets like beans. 1, 2, 3, that way. The accountant of the future is an accountant who understands technology, and you will not be taught the. I remember that there'll be units of accounting information systems when you're learning, and you'll have examples of them. But when you come to the market or you come to be employed as an accountant somewhere, you need to familiarize yourself with the accounting information systems of that organization. Largely, and major organizations, especially multinationals, will use accounting softwares like SAP and Oracle. But of course, there are other accounting softwares used by Sage, Intuit, Xero, especially for SMEs. Small organizations, you find them using QuickBooks to manage the data. Accounting softwares are very, very important, very, very important in an organization, so that management, this is the way of safeguarding the assets of the organization. When sales are happening, if you don't have a good accounting software, you may not know when you're losing inventory. So accounting softwares are very important, and it's very good to, I encourage students to, when they get familiar themselves with some of these, even if it's to Google, you may not get a license to know what Sage is or SAP, but just Google, know how it works, so that one day when you're in an interview and you say you asked, because you see, you don't have experience, but someday you find yourself in an interview and you tell people that you know 1, 2, 3 things about SAP, and it's something that you Googled. And after learning that the organization using SAP, you tell them that you know 1, 2, 3 things about SAP. They'll feel like, they're likely to feel like you're a better fit than the next candidate who doesn't know, who only knows everything about books and the accounting of the books. So Google what SAP is, Google what accounting softwares are. Check how they work. This is in your free time, instead of being on Facebook or on TikTok all the time. These are small things that you can do that can help you really a lot in future. Let me talk about future trends in accounting. Let me dispel those rumors that a lot of technology, accountants are likely not in future. Actually not true. I was reading data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics in America, where they say that there's likely to be increase of accountants by 10% between the years 2016 and 2026. So there's a whole lot of accountants who are required, and I think you are in a good profession if you're doing accounting. Don't ever think that because of technology this profession is dying. What you will need to do is, in terms of future trends and what you need to be for the accountant of the future, is familiarize yourself with this technology, because we will in future systems are advancing, And what is likely to be not to be there is the repetitive work. Today we have those repetitive tasks that are being automated, where 20 years ago, for you to get an invoice from an organization, probably they would give you a handwritten document where they write that you have purchased 20 cartons of biscuits. They write an invoice in a paper. Today, all these things are automated. You get a very good invoice that is, say, system generated. So instead of having a lot of accountants who are doing a lot of paperwork and those routine and repetitive works, you have just few accountants who are able to generate these invoices from the system. So a lot of these repetitive work will be dealt to an end, and what you'll be is to do more of analysis and become the crucial link between data and clients. In finance today, we are talking about business partnership. How is a finance professional of today assisting business to make more money? This is by providing data and telling the sales team, this is the amount of money that you're making. If you do this, this is what you can get. Analyzing, giving correct input to your marketing department, telling them, I don't think these commercial advertisements that you're doing are likely to yield a lot of resources, are likely to yield a lot of revenue. And tell them from experience, like having data that justifies what you're doing, like telling them, last year you used this amount of money and this is the revenue you got. And what if you focus your revenues, what if you focus your advertising or your marketing on these areas that are more likely to bring more sales? So that maybe instead of doing TV commercial, you do radio. And this data should be backed by evidence. So the accountant of the future will have to be a link. You'll have to be a link between data and clients and making sure that you're giving informed decisions to the business and supporting the business to grow and to generate more revenue and more profitability. In the future of accounting, of course, there's discussions about cloud computing, things called Internet of Things, the artificial intelligence and machine learning. So there's a lot that is happening where a lot of data will be available for an organization. A lot of data for an organization will be allowed in things like blockchains, data that is available all over, so that you don't even need to be, you don't need an accountant. The person you need most is an analyst. So I like to tell accountants to develop soft skills, and we will be coming here. We'll be going there in the next few minutes about the soft skills that you can develop so that you become a good accountant of the future. These technologies will bring a lot of automations of tasks that are labor intensive, such as audits, some preparation of tax documents, some banking. You guys know very well how the banking sector has really downsized on their workforces because of technology. And this happens not just to banking sector, even to a lot of organizations. When you employ technology today, payrolls of organizations, you're able to pay you're able to have an organization of 4,000 employees all over the world with just 2 payroll accountants. In the past, you probably would have had a payroll accountant for every 100 people. But because of technology, some of these repetitive tasks that you need, systems are able to do them and generate reports, and systems can do them very efficiently. Let me move to, so the key thing about technology and the accountant of the future is don't just be that accountant who is focusing more on the bookwork. Do more on technology. The accountant of the future will be, the people who are making a lot of money in accounting today are the people, especially in divisions where the people who have gotten extra skills, especially in IT. if you're a good accountant and then you develop IT skills, it's very easy for you to do your coding and generate a software that you can sell a license to various firms and be getting money annually because of a system, because of something that you sat down and created. So even if you become an accounting organization, a bank, an industrial sector organization, a service sector firm, an insurance kind of a firm, you will need IT skills because we no longer today have those organizations that rely a lot on manual and paperwork to do the accounting. Every organization today, even the smallest, I know, for example, SAP has developed solutions even for the small and medium-term enterprises. Traditionally, SAP used to be for very large organizations, the organizations which are multinationals, which are in very many countries. Today, even small and medium enterprises have SAP. So if you want to be a good accountant of the future, you need to develop good IT skills so that you can be of better resource to the organization. I'll end my talk with soft skills that you need to develop. This is probably the most important bit that I'll talk about of all these things. And these are the skills that will help you become a better accountant than your neighbor. These are the skills that will make you a better accountant than the guy or the lady who is not in this talk. So when you get to your workplace, you finish your college, you go to an organization and you become an accountant. What will make you grow through the ranks quickly and become the next the chief accountant very fast? So these are the soft skills that will help you. Number one, in terms of the soft skills, I'll talk about communication. For those who read books, Robin Sharma has a book. Robin Sharma says there's a book, I think it's in 200 Secrets of Success and Self-Mastery, where he says that the quality of your life is largely the quality of your communication. If you want to become a good accountant of the future, you will need to have a good level of interaction with your C-suite. You need to be able to communicate. You need to be able to communicate your ideas effectively. And this is very important. I was talking to an investment manager of a certain organization like 5 years ago and asking them, why do you prefer candidates who have studied abroad and they have lesser qualification than a guy who has studied here, has a BCom, has a CPA, and has a master's? And then he has studied at University of Nairobi or TC, has a master's degree, has a bachelor's, and has a CPA. That guy will not get a job where a guy from a University of Bradford in UK will come and get a job. He told me, when you interview these two guys, you're likely to just pick the guy who has studied abroad or probably even stayed there. This is because of their communication. When you interview them, they are articulate. They are able to say they're able to tell what they mean by their communication. They're able to convince you to hire them. These are the people you require in an organization because these are the people who will be interacting with your clients, with your suppliers, with your stakeholders. They'll need to convince other people about the organization. And having the best employees today is something to brag about for every organization. Organizations today are even having what do we call them? They're having HR firms conduct studies about the best employer to work for. So you need people who are good communicators so that you're able to put your points across. Is it LinkedIn where I saw that they were saying that around 60% of the people who have been hired afresh between I don't know what year and what year, cited communication to be among their key strengths and the reason they got the job. Communication skills will be very important, being able to talk your ideas in a manner that is understandable to people. Number two of the soft skills that you need to negotiate to have as a good accountant is negotiation. You need to be able to come to a table and defend your point without ruffling other people. You need, in a very rational way, have a discussion with people. You'll need to go out there and talk to insurers, talk to bankers to get the best good interest rates, talk to insurers to get the best rates, talk to clients, or when the commercial people tell you to accompany them for client visits. You'll need to have good negotiation skills. Talk to your customers and convince them why you cannot give them credit without ruffling them or without having them think that you don't have good negotiation skills. Therefore they have to go to competition. So this is very important, that you have a good aptitude for negotiation. This will allow you to reach good agreements and amicable settlements with your clients and even with your colleagues in organizations. The other key skill that you need as a good accountant of the future is leadership and influence. You will need to, a time will come when you'll be in charge of a team and you'll need to influence them towards a certain goal. And things that get measured get done. So you will need to communicate what your achievements to the team. You'll need to communicate some mutual benefit of achieving that goal. And you need to be able to anticipate the objectives and communicate them very well, and in a manner that those people who will be actioning the objectives will be doing it, not because you're telling them, it's because they realize that you're influencing them. You're telling them this is correct way to go, and this is how to do it, and leading by example. So cultivate your leadership and influencing skills. Some of these skills you will get them through reading. I encourage people to read books, read everything, read politics, read business, read history. This is where you get some of these, because nobody will come to teach you skills on influencing. The fourth skill that you require to be a good accountant of the future is critical thinking. You need to be able to objectively analyze and conceptualize situations. You'll be in charge of a balance sheet that is worth billions of shillings. You will need to advise management on where they can cut costs. So some of these things will require that you really be a critical thinker. Sometimes you'll have to spend more hours at your work so that you get the right decision. So good critical thinking abilities will help you a lot if you want to become a good accountant. This is beyond your normal paper qualification. The other soft skill that I would recommend is flexibility. What do I mean by flexibility? You will not know everything, and you rely on other people in other departments to tell you what they know and for where they are experts in, so that you can be able to make decisions. And it will not be, and it's not all days that will be good in business. Sometimes you need to be able to weather changes and stay productive. Sometimes you'll have high pressure situations. All these issues situations will require that you're flexible. Today you are working for this organization, tomorrow is next. If you don't have a flexible, you don't have aptitude for flexibility, you're likely to find yourself stagnating and being at and not being receptive to ideas from other people. And these are the reasons. These are the reasons why people will see your skills even before people. These are the things that people will see beyond the paper qualification that you have as an accountant. The other thing that you need, soft skill that I would recommend that you work on is your resilience. You need to have an aptitude of fortitude. Sometimes if you work in large organizations, they will require that you work sometimes late hours. I know organizations, especially because of a lot of deadlines, so that you'll find yourself maybe 2-3 days towards the end of the month, especially for accountants, or the beginning of the month when you're closing the books of every month. You're likely to work late, and you need to be able to have the ability to work in such kind of a manner in an adverse situation, and really not probably even expecting a lot of benefits from it. Because if you don't do it, your friend or your colleague next door will do it. So have resilience, because it's a really important skill, not only as an accountant, but in any workforce. The other soft skill that I would recommend is collaboration. Have the mindset of a team player. You will require, you will work a lot in teams. You will work with people not in your department, people who don't know accounting even to the simplest of bit. You will work with engineers, and they will come with things called bill of quantities because of projects they are doing. If you don't have that aptitude for learning from them, for listening, telling them, you want to laugh at them because they don't understand simple accounting, because you don't want to learn what when they tell you something, you tell them you are not an engineer, you don't need to know some of these things. You need to be a collaborative kind of a person with team abilities, so that you're able to succeed as a team. You also need, as a good accountant of the future, you need very good problem-solving skills. The department requires, there are things we do to clean books called priority accounting controls. So some of these things will require that you be of very good solutions. You be there to provide very good solutions. Where accounts are dirty, a customer is saying that they are not able to place orders because they paid and you have not received the money. How do you help the customer without ruffling them? You will need to go and consult your colleagues whether they have received the money in the bank. You have to have an appetite for problem solving. Don't just tell the customer, as we have not received your money, so we can sell to you. So you need to have a problem solving attitude, so that in any engagement, you have the best course of action. The other soft skill that you require is being a dedicated person. And this is total dedication without even expecting a lot of benefits from it. Some of these things, the benefits don't accrue so immediately, but your dedication will be very rewarding later. So this is what I was talking about. Sometimes you need to work in high pressure situations. Sometimes you need to work late hours, but this discipline and hard work and accepting all these things with fortitude will be, sometimes they become to be very rewarding later on in your life. You'll also need, you will need empathy. Empathy is, of course, this is a skill of life that you need for you to be able to understand other people. You need not to be to have misconceptions about issues. Approach the issues with rationality. Accepting other people, accepting that this is an engineer, this is a doctor, and all these are your colleagues. This is a messenger. This is a person who sweeps. This is a CEO. You'll need to have empathy so that you're able to treat people well and understand the kind of jobs they do, and be be a good employee. And I like to encourage people to not only be good employees, but also be good citizens of the world. And having these altruistic characteristics like empathy is very important. So I will end there and attract questions from you guys, and it has been nice talking to you.
Wow. Chris, you have another skill of being a lecturer. Are you thinking of that maybe later in life? Good, thank you very much. Yes, I have questions here on the chat. I'll start with them. Then should you want to ask a question, you just raise your hand like Amos. We'll be able to ask you to unmute yourself. Then you ask the question. You just raise your hand. So I'll start with Yusuf. Yusuf is asking, hello there. I understand that tax people are accountants, and from what I know is that they go extra to study tax laws. May you elaborate further about their qualifications? He's asking about qualification for tax accountants. Okay, maybe we can read them. Some may be similar so that we answer them at once. Then we have Mark Muia is asking, Mark Muia is from Dedan Kimathi University. What are the strengths an accountant must possess if they are elaborate? I think we have mentioned that. Then Melphis Melos asks, hi, while you were touching on control accountants, you mentioned something to do with Excel skills as well as accounting softwares. This, however, could be prone to errors. Kindly inform us of the most accurate accounting software. That's from Melvin. Then, okay. Then Perpetual, thank you very much for your question. Hello, what is required of one to be a forensic accountant? The qualifications and how is the field in Kenya? So she's talking about forensic accounting and the qualifications. So I'll start with Amos. Amos, I don't see you again, but I can see somebody as Mburu. I mean, Mburu. Mburu, you can unmute yourself. Just raise your hand. I'll be able to unmute you to ask a question. Let's start with Mburu. Yes.
Thank you so much, Corporate Career Academy, Mr. Makori, for according me this chance. First, I want to thank our speaker.
There's some echo on the ground. Maybe you can ask whoever is with you to unmute first, to mute whatever they have, devices. End device. Just proceed.
Yeah, thank you. So we want to thank our speaker for such an interactive session, and we have really much gained. So I'll go straight to my question. So my question is, you touched something to do with the accounting softwares, of which I can term them also as short.
Are we losing you? Yes, Mburu, you can get us. You can ask again.
He's
we lost you.
Oh, sorry. So my question was, you mentioned something to do with accounting softwares, and I can term them as short-term courses. Short-term courses in accounting. The world is going digital, and we need to incorporate IT in the accounting profession. So you could kindly highlight the specific or the particular accounting softwares or the short-term courses. Because for me, I know only one, something to do with QuickBooks. So maybe the others in which you can.
Wow, thank you, Mburu.
And maintenance. So,
yeah. Okay. The next is okay. Are you done?
No.
Okay.
So I also had a question, and on, for example, a person pursuing Bachelor of Commerce and has done CPA. Is there something he or she will lose by specializing in another area other than accounting? The strength in your career. Yeah. My friend also has something to say.
Oh, you are a team. Okay. Yeah. Mention your name, sir.
I'm Sir Patrick Ndolo. And I'm asking if you be an accountant, at the same time you can be an auditor, and at the same time you can be a tax accountant. Can that happen?
Okay. Thank you. So next we give this chance to Amos. Amos, you can ask your question. Hello, Amos. Amos. Amos.